Today's world news brings major developments involving U.S. President Donald Trump. From controversial drug pricing policies and tensions with top universities to reactions from international financial markets, his every move is sending shockwaves across the globe. Meanwhile, the world is closely watching the funeral of Pope Francis, a historic event expected to gather numerous global leaders. Pope Francis's funeral set for Saturday. Vatican City. The funeral of Pope Francis will be held at 10 a.m. this Saturday in St. Peter's Square. He passed away on Monday at the age of 88 after a stroke and cardiac arrest. The Vatican said his death came quickly and peacefully. He fell into a coma after saying farewell to his longtime nurse. His body will lie in St. Peter's Basilica starting Wednesday morning, allowing the public to pay their respects. The funeral will be led by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re. World leaders expected to attend include U.S. President Donald Trump, Argentine President Javier Milei, Brazilian President Lula da Silva, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. In his will, Pope Francis requested to be buried at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome, breaking with the tradition of burial at St. Peter's. Gold surges past $3,500 as investors seek safe haven. April 22, Reuters. Gold soared to a record high on Tuesday, breaking $3,500 per ounce, as a weaker dollar, escalating U.S.-China trade tensions, and criticism of the Federal Reserve by President Donald Trump drove investors toward safe haven assets. Spot gold rose 0.5% to $3,440.51 per ounce by 9:21 a.m. ET, after hitting $3,500.05 earlier in the session. U.S. gold futures climbed 0.9% to $3,454.60. Analysts say strong momentum and fears over global instability are fueling the rally. Gold continues to attract buyers on any dip, and it's hard to see where this rally might end, said Fawad Razakzada of Citi Index. Trump's renewed attacks on Fed Chair Jerome Powell and calls for interest rate cuts added pressure to financial markets and weighed on the dollar. Meanwhile, uncertainty over trade tariffs and currency risks in Asia are also driving gold demand. Spot silver rose 0.3% to $32.63 an ounce, while palladium gained 1.4% to $940. Trump considering plan to cut U.S. drug prices to international levels. April 22, Reuters. President Donald Trump's administration is reportedly considering a policy to align U.S. drug prices with lower prices paid by other developed nations, according to two industry sources. The move is seen as a major threat to the pharmaceutical sector. Sources say the proposal is expected to come from Medicare and Medicaid authorities and is considered a mid-level priority in the administration's push to reduce drug costs. Known as international reference pricing, the idea has faced strong opposition from drugmakers. A similar plan proposed by Trump during his first term was blocked by the courts, despite projections it could save taxpayers over $85 billion in 7 years. The U.S. pays more for prescription drugs than any other country, nearly 3 times higher than other developed nations. While Trump has repeatedly criticized the pricing gap, he has yet to offer specific implementation details. The White House, the Department of Health and Human Services, Medicare, and FEMA declined to comment. Harvard sues to block Trump from cutting billions in research funding. April 21, Reuters. Harvard University filed a lawsuit on Monday to stop President Donald Trump from freezing billions in federal research funding. The lawsuit, filed in Boston federal court, claims the Trump administration is using funding cuts to pressure Harvard into accepting demands that threaten academic independence. Harvard accuses the administration of violating its First Amendment rights and calls the action arbitrary and unlawful. The dispute stems from Harvard's refusal to comply with White House demands, which include banning face masks and ending diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The White House began reviewing Harvard's $9 billion in federal funding in March and has already frozen $2.3 billion. Officials have also threatened to revoke Harvard's tax-exempt status and its ability to admit international students. White House spokesperson Harrison Fields said, "Federal funding is a privilege, and Harvard has failed to meet the basic conditions required to receive it." Trump has criticized top U.S. universities for mishandling pro-Palestinian protests, which he claims promoted anti-Semitism. Protesters argue they are being wrongly labeled for speaking out against Israeli military actions in Gaza. Harvard is the first university to sue in response to Trump's crackdown on higher education. Thank you for watching Fanangst News. If you find this update valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Stay informed with us, where the world meets your screen.